Misa, you've done psychic readings and healings for people all over the world. How would you describe psychic powers and abilities?
These include a huge range of abilities that we call ESP, or extrasensory perception, sixth sense. These are ways in which we see, know, feel, hear at very subtle levels of reality, and we can influence reality at very subtle levels. For example, if I'm empathic to you, I may feel or sense what you are experiencing and also be able to convey my empathy for you, all going on at a subtle level that cannot be seen. That's an example of one of these gifts. Being able to write automatically with what we're hearing or sensing, being able to know who's calling when you hear the phone ring before you pick up the phone, having a sense about what is going to happen soon before it happens, or even being able to heal with energy. These are all forms of psychic abilities, and I've named just a few.
How would you describe the difference between psychic powers and intuition?
Very good question. The word psychic in Greek means of the soul. So we could think about our spiritual abilities and psychic gifts as being of the soul. Intuition, on the other hand, comes from a Latin word that means contemplate. So our intuitive guidance, our intuitive gifts are the ways in which we receive information when we are using our psychic abilities. If we bring them together, we could think of it as the contemplations from the soul.
Do we all have psychic powers?
Yes, we do. I've done hundreds of readings, and I can assure you that every individual has at least one psychic power, if not multiple, and most have multiple abilities. Now, the degree to which we are aware of them varies. Some of us had gifts that were very strong as children, and for various reasons we suppressed them, so they are secret or hidden to us as adults. Some of us had abilities, but no one knew to identify them. So we're not even aware that something we do naturally is actually a psychic ability and gift.
Why do you think there's such a huge surge in interest in psychic abilities?
Well, let's look at the history of psychic abilities. We have had centuries where it was actually safer to disconnect from our intuitive wisdom. So consider the witch burnings. If you had psychic powers and abilities and those were observable, you might die for that. At the very least, one might have experienced ridicule or being silenced, being told that this isn't appropriate or not safe, so don't speak about what you know. And these experiences, whether they come from past lives or present life, are buried in the cells of our souls. So there is a fundamental fear that most of us have to overcome that is related to using our psychic powers and abilities. Now, at this time in history, there is this surgence of consciousness, and we are realizing that these very gifts that we've been denying are the way in which we receive divine guidance. They're our connection to the divine and the way that the divine communicates with us. So we must reconnect, and we feel this, in order to thrive as a species, because we make better decisions when we're connected to the divine. Better decisions for ourselves as individuals, better decisions for the planet. We are able to find cures for incurable diseases when we follow the intuitive guidance that comes to us through our psychic abilities. So if we really want to thrive, and most of us do, it's time for us to connect these beautiful spiritual gifts that we've been given.
Can you give us some examples of how developing psychic abilities help in everyday life?
Oh, sure. They helped in my own life. At one point, I said a prayer, set an intention in the universe that I wanted to be of my greatest service possible in the world, to help the most people possible, and in a way that would allow me to be personally fulfilled and satisfied and prosperous and be able to provide for my family. 3 mornings in a row, I woke up with the root of all healing on the tip of my tongue. Now that became my book and the focus of my work. So that helped me open doors to my life and my most sacred work in a good way. It was my psychic ability that saved my life in terms of helping me identify the symptoms I was experiencing as being caused by MS. Once I was able to understand its root, I was able to direct my sound medicine energy, another psychic gift, to actually heal what is normally considered an incurable disease. I have a very dear friend who had a similar experience about his life being helped through his psychic gifts. He was in a motorcycle accident where he completely damaged his knee. So he was told by his doctor that he would probably never walk again, would need a wheelchair, and at the very best would need some kind of apparatus to walk with. Well, he didn't believe in all of these abilities and powers and metaphysical healing, but he sensed that he could visualize his knee being completely well. And he did. And now he walks without any problems at all. Another friend of mine attracted her life mate through her psychic abilities, and yet another friend found her life work and is serving millions of people with a radio program that she dedicates to our awakening, and that guidance came to her through her psychic abilities.
What can we expect after we have further developed our psychic abilities then?
Life gets easier. That's the bottom line. We feel more confident in making significant life decisions and knowing that we are making those decisions from our divine connection to Source. Then we can utilize our other skills and talents to bring that guidance, whatever it might be, into fruition. So as we learn to understand our gift, identify our gifts, know how to work with our gifts, and trust them, they really become a powerful guiding force in our lives. And when they do, life is easier, it's more fun, we make clearer directions, we are more in alignment with our true life purpose and our path, whether that's for our healing or our service in the world. So the bottom line is we open divine doorways in our lives. And as a result, we have more fun and we get what we want faster and more directly.
Well, Misa, I've certainly enjoyed your Psychic Powers and Psychic Abilities program and have benefited greatly from it. And you're right. You do get what you want faster and with more direct information. So thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Thank you.